Good morning, and welcome to Kidstock at Home, our second Kidstock at Home performance, coming to you live from Edmonds Center for the Arts. I'm Gracelyn Shibayama, Edmonds Center for the Arts Events Assistant, and on behalf of our Board of Directors, staff, and volunteers, thank you for joining us for this live stream concert with Arcs Duo. I want to start by expressing our gratitude to be hosting this event on the culture-rich Indigenous lands of the Coast Salish people. At ECA, we are committed to working with local tribes to acknowledge their ancestral lands and are honored to do so this morning. As always, I'd like to thank ECA's season sponsors, Linwood Honda and Windermere Real Estate Edmonds. I also want to thank Rick Steves Europe and City of Edmonds for their support. Kidstock at Home is made possible with the generous support from the Hazel Miller Foundation, Edmonds Arts Festival Foundation, Edmonds Arts Commission, Edmonds Bookshop, and First Financial Northwest Bank. You're about to see Arcs Duo. Aspiring to expand the genre of percussion chamber music, Arcs Duo is dedicated to the creation and presentation of new works involving percussion, as well as the education of young artists. They have had premiere performances throughout the globe, conducted workshops on 3 continents, and worked with a variety of composers and artists to bring new creations to audiences everywhere. We have more digital programming coming up over the next month. Join us for our 3rd Kidstock at Home performance with Ben Hunter and Joe Siemens on January 2nd, and don't miss ECA's first ever spoken word festival called We Speak on December 3rd, which is a pay-as-you-choose event with tickets available now on our website. Finally, we'd like to ask you for your help to keep the arts accessible during this time. Kidstock at Home wouldn't be possible without the support and enthusiasm of our community. To support Kidstock and local artists, please visit ec4arts.org, click the donate button, and make a contribution of any size that is meaningful to you. Thank you. We miss welcoming you all to the theater in person, but are so grateful you are tuning in and showing your support for ECA's digital programming. Thank you. Please join me now in giving a warm welcome to Arcs Duo.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. My name is Garrett Arney.
My name is Mari Yoshinaga.
And we are Arcs Duo, two percussionists. We've been playing together for 7 or 8 years, something like that. And today we're going to show you some of our instruments. We're going to show you a little bit about what percussion is. We're going to tell some stories, and we're going to make some things. So before we begin, I want to let you know that if you want to participate in some of the later activities that we're doing today, feel free to run to the kitchen with your parents and grab some bowls, mixing bowls, saran wrap, tin foil, tin cans, teacups, bottles, anything that you want. We're going to make some shakers, and we're going to make some drums. Also, grab some things to fill it with, rice, beans, anything like that. Also for later, grab a piece of paper and pencil or crayons, something to write or draw with. You may need that later. So, to start, we're going to explain the instruments that we just started playing. There's something called a marimba and something called a vibraphone. My instrument is very, very large and changes in size as you go through, and it's made of wood. It's organized just like a piano with the black keys and the white keys, accidentals and naturals, and it sounds something like this. It comes from Africa and has moved over to Central America and South America and developed since early days of music. And it sounds like that, a little bit dry, a little bit earthy, and has a nice punch. And Mari's playing the vibraphone, which she'll explain.
Yeah, so this is a little bit shorter than marimba. It has only 3 octaves instead of 5. They're all metals, and I have a pedal. So without pedal, it sounds like this. With the pedal down, it sounds like this. I can sustain the sound like a piano. Also, this is called vibraphone because it can vibrate like this. It's got a motor, and I can control the speed as well.
And control that wobble
Yeah.
in pitch. They're very cool instruments. This is what we play a lot of the time, that kind of music. But we'll come back to these later. First, we want to talk about percussion as a whole. This is much later percussion, but everybody at home is a percussionist with nothing. You can just use your hands. Percussion is the act of making sound through contact. And rhythm is a lot of what we do musically, which is a repetition of those sounds. So we're going to teach everybody a little bit about how to play some percussion and play some rhythm. So if everybody at home, put your hands like you're about to clap, because that's what we'll do. This is one way to play percussion and make this kind of sound. So everybody go ahead and clap with me. I'll clap first, and then you follow Mari. So for example, this is what this percussion instrument sounds like. One more time. So some music is created purely with that sound and repeating it over and over and over. So one of these pieces uses a rhythm that we're going to teach you now. So it's a series of claps and spaces. So at home, if you can clap 3 times with us, we're going to go. One more time. So let's think of this as the beginning of that rhythm. So we're going to go ahead and clap over here. So if you want to stand up, you can move your hands over here, and we're going to go 3 claps. Good. The next part of the rhythm is 2 claps, so there'll be a little space. So you're going to go 3, space, and then move over just a little bit and go 2, okay?
1, 2, 3, space.
Good, one more time. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2. Good, the next part is a single clap, like we started with. One clap, that's gonna be about right here. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And if it helps, bring your hands apart during the spaces.
Okay.
Good. Let's speed this up just a little bit now that we're getting familiar with it. We're going to go. Good. And the last part of this rhythm is 2 more claps. So we're going to go 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay? So we're going to go 2, 1, 2.
3, 1, 2, 1.
Good. Let's repeat this a few times, and feel free to move from here to here with us. Here we go. 2, 1, 2. Now 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Good. So the special thing about this rhythm is when people compose with it, they'll have 2 players or more players playing the same rhythm in a different spot. So I might start here, and Mari might start here a little bit later. So we're going to show you what that sounds like, and feel free to clap with either one of us and use the motions to help you stay with us if you get off. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. That's me. And Mari will start somewhere else. My fault. I messed up. But, so you can put that rhythm anywhere, and you can practice this anytime you want with your parents, with your siblings if you have any, and you can use these motions to kind of stay in time. So one of these pieces that we're going to play for you now is moving from clapping hands to something still simple, just individual pieces of wood that we have here on the table. We're going to use that rhythm and slowly build up that pattern. So we invite you at home, as you see one hand playing slowly, to try and clap along with us. This is music for pieces of wood. Great job if you were clapping at home. It was a lot of fun. So now we're going to do something a little bit more involved, and instead of just using our hands, we're actually going to make some percussion instruments, because a lot of percussion instruments can be found anywhere, like in the kitchen, at home, in your pantry, anywhere. So this is the part where if you did go to the kitchen and find some bowls and some saran wrap, this is where you're going to need it. So go ahead and grab some of those things. We have a table full of a lot of different options. A lot of different kinds of shakers, a lot of different kinds of things to put inside of things. We have, what do we have here, Mari? We have some rice.
Rice.
Sushi rice. We have, what is this, pinto beans?
Lima beans.
Lima beans.
Lima beans.
We have some, what is this, couscous? No.
This is couscous.
Couscous. And what's
That's lentils.
Lentils. So we have a bunch of different, we also have some plastic BBs in this bowl here. In terms of putting things in it, we have an empty pill bottle, we have some leftover takeout containers, water bottles, and glass jars, tin cans, anything we could find, honestly, to bring today. And again, also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. This is a part of the show where we are right next to the screen, so it helps us a little bit. If you have any questions as we're making some of these instruments, feel free to go ahead and ask. For the drums that we're going to make, you're going to need some kind of bowl. It doesn't have to be, a large mixing bowl of any kind. It also doesn't have to be metal. It could be glass, it could be porcelain, it could be a bowl that you used for your cereal this morning, as long as it's clean. It doesn't have to be clean, but it helps. And you're going to need some kind of something to cover it with. So I have here, one of my favorite things to make drum sounds is saran wrap, and I prefer Glad press and seal, though that doesn't necessarily matter. And what you're going to do is you're going to take...
We could do like a normal saran wraps or like aluminum foil.
Aluminum foil works, and we do have some aluminum foil for a different sort of sound. But for a drum, you want something stretchy and without too much contact. So to give you an example, so you're going to take a bit, you'll stretch and ask your parents for help for this, and take this aluminum or this saran wrap, and Mari, if you could, is this visible? I imagine it might be visible. Take the saran wrap and stretch it over the corners of the bowl, and then try and attach one part to one side of the bowl. So notice I did right here, and then I'll try and pull this side a little bit and attach that as well. Then I'll do the same over here. I'll take this side and stretch it a little bit. And again, you can do this with a partner. If Mari was holding the bowl, for example, you could take both sides and stretch and attach at the same time. And then as you go through, you'll go around the bowl and tighten up each part so that there's no wrinkles like this, because the wrinkles will stop the sound. You just stretch it and keep going. And then once it's clean, once it looks clean and flat and smooth, you'll test it out just with your finger is completely fine. In the last session, anybody who was there, Eli showed everybody what hand drums were, congas and bongos, and where they came from. And this is similar. You can play this in a very similar way. So once it's all clean, you test it with your finger. Hear what that sounds like? It has a little bit of resonance. You can put it on the ground, and it's finished. Or if you want it to be a little higher, you can just kind of go around the rim and stretch it a little bit more. So the tighter the saran wrap around the bowl, the higher the pitch is going to be. So if everybody remembers that pitch, it was kind of like doom, 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 doom-ish. If I stretch a little bit more, should raise the pitch, hopefully. If it doesn't, I'll be embarrassed. But
Oh, there you go.
much, much higher. So you can do this with as many as you want. And if you take a larger bowl and do it, which we'll do real quick, super quick.
Can I make the little one?
Yeah, do you want to do the snare drum?
Snare drum?
Yeah. So these are something called tom-toms, and the reason they're called tom-toms is because they sound kind of like, well, one reason could be because they sound like tom, tom, tom. They have a lot of resonance and a lot of pitch. So as we make this, it rings and doesn't have any extra sound. You don't actually need saran wrap for the snare drum.
No?
You can make it out of the small bowl. Mari's going to make a tom-tom too while I finish this larger tom-tom. And this one, because it's a larger bowl, will also be a lower pitch. So we're going to go and we'll check it, make sure it's all tight. Should be lower. It's a lot lower. It has a little bit of a buzz because I took kind of too small a piece of saran wrap. So make sure your saran wrap is large enough. Stretch it out, and not bad. Getting a little bit of rattle. If you do, just check and make sure that the head, what we'll call the saran wrap, is smooth and attached all the way around the bowl. That's better. So it's a lot low. And Mari's is going to be,
Oh,
it sounds a little low. She needs to tighten her saran wrap.
a little loose.
And then, while Mari is making her drum higher, you can take another bowl, again, any kind. We just have a lot of access to metal bowls. And take the tin foil.
Would it work with glass?
It should.
Bowl?
It should work with a glass bowl. With permission, it'll work with a glass bowl. But then the next drum we're going to make instead of a tom-tom is something that you might be familiar with called a snare drum, which sounds a little less like doom doom and a more a drier sound. So if you take the tin foil, which won't shake as much, and wrap it around in the same way around some kind of bowl, you'll end up with a sound. And make sure you tighten it around the rim. It won't stick to the bowl like the saran wrap does.
A little higher.
Here's our tom-toms. Yeah. And then if you take the tin foil and wrap it around the bowl, so it looks like this, and it won't be necessarily as pretty, and you hit it, it sounds like a snare drum, something you might be a familiar sound, except for a lot quieter. So this is kind of an in-home drum set, and if you have any kind of utensils, I do like chopsticks because they won't break the drums as easily as a fork might. Spoon would work as well, but any kind of small stick you can hit. And make an in-home drum set out of your mom's cooking stuff with chopsticks. So the other thing we're going to make, and we'll use all of this stuff in a minute, but the other thing we're going to make is a variety of shakers and different sounds. So we have a lot of different containers that we can use. I have a tin can here. We have a glass jar, this old pill bottle, and some Tupperware, and even an old mint case that we're going to fill with these different implements. To show you the kind of difference that they make, I'll show you a little bit with this Tupperware container. So if we take the lima beans, correct, and pour just a couple in there, and go ahead and pour whatever you've got in there, whatever you'd like to, and shake it, it sounds a little bit like that, a little low. If I pour more lima beans in there, it will also change the sound to be a little bit higher and a little bit more dense, right? If I put these back, this is clean container, don't worry. It's a lot lower and more wide. We'll put these in the glass jar. Great sound. And then if you take something like rice, sushi rice is what we have today, and you pour it into the container, you end up with something probably a little higher because everything is a lot smaller.
Quieter too.
Quieter, a little softer sort of sound. So if you could take whatever container you want and fill it with whatever substance you want, we'll do a little bit of shaking together. So I'm going to take, you're going to take this, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take.
Make this sound like this.
It's going to be tough, but.
It's going to be tough.
And I'm going to make a shaker out of this. I have plastic, little plastic BBs to put in the pill bottle, which is something we've used in the past, often in this next piece. But we'll remake it here and show what some of this stuff sounds like.
I'm going to put some lentils.
You're doing lentils in your tin can? It's probably a good idea.
I feel like cooking, but we're not cooking.
It does kind of feel like cookie. Where's the cap? That's close.
What if I put more?
Maybe mix it with rice. And you can always mix substances as well. It doesn't have to be a single substance. This is what mine sounds like. But I knew that because we've had this. Oh, we have a question. Can you also use a large rubber band and hold it over the bowl and tub? We can. I don't have a rubber band, but you can. So if you hold it over and you pull it up and then let it snap, it'll make sound. You can also wrap it around the bowl and snap that way. But if you leave it as well and hit, the rubber band will act as a kind of snare and adjust the pitch or the timbre of the drum itself. A snare drum normally has some wires along the bottom head that resonate with the head. So anything you put on here, I've also experimented with doing 2 layers of saran wrap with coins stacked on the inside to make sort of a sound, which works pretty well. So anything you've got, you can even take some of these substances and put them in the bowl and make something called an ocean drum, which is a drum that has this sound but also a sound as you shake it. It's like a combination instrument, which we didn't make. We should have. We have 3 of those, but yeah. Okay, that was it for questions so far. So, are you happy with your small shaker?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds nice. So, and instruments at home aren't limited to this. These are just the ideas. You don't have to use saran wrap. You could use paper on top instead. You don't have to use any of the lima beans or rice. You could use you could use paper clips. You could use anything that will shake inside.
What about the nails?
You could use nails with permission as well, of course, because they can be sharp.
Yeah, they're sharp.
So you have to be careful. But so if everybody can take whatever implement you made, here, go ahead and you can take this one because you made it, and we'll start to shake. So hold it up either like this or however you want to hold it in a way that you can move your arm. And we'll practice shaking a little bit. So we're just going to start by just 1 move backwards towards you. So we're going to go this way, just once. Well, let's do that one more time. Good. Now try and go forward. And we're trying to make just a single sound. Good, as single as possible with multiple implements. Then let's try and go forward and then backwards. And keep going. Let's speed up with us. If you made 2 shakers, feel free to grab them both. Go faster and faster.
Oh,
You lost rice? Until you can't go any faster.
the lid's on.
You can make any kinds of sounds that you want with shakers. All of the instruments that we just made together, you can use during this next piece. So this next piece uses purely shakers, different kinds of shakers, and some other implements. And for the sake of this performance, because we can always change up the instruments for this piece, it's very flexible instrumentation, we'll use some of the things that we made, like these drums and the shakers that we made as well. I'll actually take this one, if that's okay. We'll use some of these shakers during the performance, and you'll get to hear them in context. And throughout the entire thing, feel free to play along with us. You can shake slowly, you can shake fast, you can hit the drums, whatever you would like. Mari, do you want to talk about the instruments that we're using in general?
Yeah. So this shaker piece is actually written. Everything is written down except the middle improvisation section. This is for a lot of shakers like maracas.
Familiar shakers.
Familiar shakers like this, or metal shaker from Latin percussion.
Or plastic as well.
Or plastic. Wood shaker. We have really rare ones, like this is called spin shakers. You spin to play this, but also if you spin the top part, yeah, it's got different pitch. You can raise the pitch. Yeah. We also have these shakers. These are Brazilian shakers called cachixes. We have 2 different kinds. one has metal plate inside, so it's like this, and this is a really dry gourd bottom. And we also have this one. It's called Cyclone Shaker. I only play 3 times in one section, so watch out.
Watch for it.
Watch for it. What else? So we have metal bells, different sizes.
Bells, ringy ones.
Tiger bells and Indian bells, and then ice. I use this cymbals as well. I think that's about it. Yeah. And then we have more handmade shakers. Wait, what's in here again? Pasta.
That's right.
Yeah, dry pastas. You can use macaroni.
And like a Kool-Aid container or something. And this, I think, is a Pringles can maybe with something in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what, because these were made by somebody that came to a concert, happened to be carrying these around and gave them to us. So you can find shakers anywhere. This is, this next piece we're going to play is Seeds, and again, we invite you to play along with us. Shake, hit the drums, make whatever noises you feel like you want to make. So as we were playing, we got a couple, not questions, but reminders that any homemade instruments that you make at home or videos of you playing your homemade instruments, post on Instagram and tag the Edmonds Arts Center as well as us. And
Arcs Duo.
Arcs Duo.
ARX.
ARX Duo, which you can find in the chat. And hashtag Kidstock at home if you can as well. So as you notice, playing all of those shakers and using your body becomes kind of a dance. All of the music and all the sounds are dictated by sort of dancing, which is a way of telling a story. So we're going to move back over to our marimba and vibraphone, and we're going to play a couple more pieces that are derived from stories. And then we'll ask you to write one as well. So this next piece was written for us by a friend of ours. A big part of what we do is work with people to create new pieces for us to play and for others to play, to share with audiences like you. And this piece is based on a large story of a king in a kingdom and all of his subjects, and he was really curious about what forever was. So this piece is called Forever My Grace, and it's about this king asking all of his subjects, scientists, mathematicians, astronomers, and musicians to explain the concept of forever. And this composer, Ian Gottlieb, a good friend of ours, wrote this piece in multiple stories told through music of infinity, concepts of forever. This one that we're going to play for you is emulating raindrops. It has a very poetic title called Forever My Grace is all the droplets of rainy skies falling at manifold velocities. So imagine on a day like today where it's sort of raining occasionally and then it stops and it feels like it's going to rain forever, for infinity. That's what this piece is depicting. So this is one infinity story. We invite you to close your eyes and hear the fast rain droplets and the slow ones. So that story was very, very simple and just depicting one idea. This last piece that we're going to play for you has kind of a boring title. It's called Toccata for marimba and vibraphone. So what we're going to do is ask everybody at home to, as you're listening to this next piece, which is a little longer and has a lot of different characters, some really heroic, some a little sadder, some kind of mellow, like a dance or a party of some kind. And we want everybody at home to maybe come up with a new title for this piece and a story. This title could be written out in words, it could be drawn in a picture, and this is something we'd really like you to take a picture of and post on Instagram and put hashtag Kidstock at home and tag Edmonds Arts Center and Arcs Duo if you would like, and show us what you come up with for this piece as you're listening. So write as we play. Again, thank you Edmonds Arts Center for having us, and thank you for everybody at home for listening, and enjoy spending your Saturday morning learning a little bit about some of our instruments and making some things with us. Just 1 second. Just get that a little out of the way. Okay. everybody, for joining us on Saturday. We hope
Thank
to see you soon.